Hi, my name is James Johnson, and you're watching Cooking with Jimmy. There we go. Now, you can see it's almost starting to look like whipped cream. That's what we want. So now, what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and add our ingredients. So, I have 1 cup of sugar. Just kind of sprinkle that all the way around, so that way it's going to mix better. There we go. We have 4 tablespoons of flour. There we go. And now we're going to also add 2 eggs. And there's 1. Now you always want to try and make sure that you break your eggs into some kind of container, because if you end up getting shells, it's not going to be that great. Because it's one thing to go out and just buy a cheesecake. It's another to make it yourself. And it's so easy. So, we have our 2 eggs. Go right in. And now, for a really fun one, we have some vanilla. Now vanilla, it always depends on about how flavorful you want it. Now me, I like my vanilla, I like to have a lot of vanilla in mine just so that it gets a lot of flavor to it. So I'm just going to kind of, a little bit just like that. Our cheesecake's going to be happy. So, make sure this is on. And now for this, we're going to want a low to a medium setting. So if you have numbers, you're going to want it about a number 2 setting to start mixing it up. So again, make sure you have your hand on top, that way it's not going to be shaking all around the place. Let it mix up, look how nice that's already mixing. This right here, I already have it nearly halfway done in a matter of minutes. It is just this easy to make a cheesecake. Everyone thinks it's so hard, but it's really not. You too can do this for your girl. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice, creamy. That right there is what you want for your cheesecake. So we're going to go ahead, lift this out. Now you want to go ahead and leave your blade in, or it's going to make a huge mess. Just make sure you hold the top of it when you come over here to fill it. So I'm going to go ahead, lift it up, hold your blade. This, oh yeah, look at that. Nice, creamy. Now you want to try and make sure to spread it as best as you can. Now I'm going to go ahead and make sure you get the bottom. Just look at this. We still got some stuff right here on the bottom and on the top here that could be used just as well. And we'll try and use every bit of this cheesecake as you can, because this is your cheesecake. You made this. So we now have that all taken care of. And now, again, don't afraid to get dirty. Oh my goodness, this looks good. Now, just look how much is coming out. Yes, sir, this looks like it's going to be an amazing cheesecake. And I go ahead and kind of spin it around a little bit, try to even it all out. Also, you want to give it a couple of good taps, because there's air bubbles that get into it underneath, and that's something that destroys a lot of cakes, pies, cheesecakes, all the bubbles that get inside. So make sure you get all the bubbles out of this. So be very careful, because by now the oven's very hot. So what I do, I open it right up, and then again, there's my pot. And you can already see the steam coming right off of it. That's what you want. So now I'm going to go ahead, put it right in, right over it, close it up, and now we just set our timer. We'll come back and we're going to check out just how wonderful this cheesecake came out. Alright, so now we've been letting this cook for a while, so now we're going to go ahead and check it. So gonna go ahead and open this up, let it ventilate a little because you don't want to burn your face off. I'm gonna come in here, hit it a few times. If you see the whole cheesecake moving all together, that means it's most likely done. If you see just the center of it shaking around, it means it might not be done. That looks like it's all done. So, gonna go ahead, come right in here, grab it. Oh yeah, look at that. Doesn't that look scrumptious? Come right over here, set it down on some kind of hot pad. There. So now we're going to go ahead and let that cool off. Alright, so now, a lot of guys might think, well yeah, my girlfriend likes sweets and cheesecakes, but the thing is, especially with Valentine's Day coming up, I want to try and get some chocolate. Well, today I'm also going to show you how to cook a chocolate cheesecake. So what I'm going to use for the bottom of my crust, instead of using the snickerdoodle, I'm going to use these Oreo double stuffed cookies. Now, the good part about it being a double stuffed is that I don't need the butter to help make sure that it's going to firm up all together and keep it ooey gooey. So, now what we're going to do, go ahead and open up our Oreos. Oh, look at those. Now, for this, you want to make sure you have enough Oreos. So I'm just going to use about 2 rows of Oreos. A little bit of whizzing up. We have our crust. Take out our blade. Now come over here to our pre-readied cheesecake thing. Again, I'm using parchment paper in the bottom instead of having to grease it or anything. And again, nice little latch on the side, so to just pop it open when I'm done to take the bottom right out. Easy snap. Pat that down. Don't worry about getting your hands dirty, because in cooking you're gonna have to break a few eggs to make an omelet, or in my case a cheesecake. Now again, this right here is a good cake to make, especially on those special Valentine's days. So, we have that all patted down. Now, come right over here. You don't have to worry about rinsing this out because all go in the same cake. So, and now, the most important part for a chocolate cheesecake, the chocolate itself. So I'm going to add about 3/4 of a cup of cocoa mix. Alright, so get that right in there. Close this. Set about for 45 minutes. It might take a little bit longer or a little bit less time depending on your oven. Alright, so welcome back. So now I've just had my cheesecakes sitting in the refrigerator kind of cooling off now. So now let's take a look at how they came out. Oh yes. Here's our traditional cheesecake. Here we go. And here is our chocolate cheesecake. Now, if you notice, there's a crack right here in the cheesecake. That shows that this has been hurried a lot. So, what you want to make sure you do is after it's all done cooking, you have the oven off, you open the door a little bit so it can ventilate, leave it to sit for about anywhere from 15 to 45 minutes. Then you bring it out onto the countertop to cool off the rest of the way. Then afterwards, you put it in your refrigerator for at least an hour, and it won't crack like this. So, that's delicious. Now, one thing to remember is not all cheesecakes are plain. Like we have our big huge crack here, my chocolate cheesecake. So one thing that you can do, instead of just leaving it like that, you can either leave it like that, or you can put toppings on top, like, say, some cherries. Kind of glaze it on the top and have it a cherry chocolate cheesecake. Then you get a double in one. And not only that, you get to fill in that crack, and your special little someone will never know the difference. Thank you very much for watching. You can mail me at cookwithjim@yahoo.com. You can shoot me an email if there's any different types of cooking or recipes that you'd like to watch me show you. So, thank you very much for watching, and have a nice night.